Welcome back to another episode of Classic Model Trains. I'm Ron. I found this here lifelike train set and I decided I'm going to build a layout and I'm going to give it away to some young feller. Try to pass the hobby on. We received stuff for birthdays and Christmases back in the day, train sets, which got us started in the hobby. I just wanted to give a train set to a young feller to see if he might get the bug and enjoy this hobby for a lifetime, much like we all have. Unboxing this from a Goodwill auction. Somehow I managed to find myself a lifelike roaring diesel train set. Well, I don't normally get complete train sets like this, but I've never had a brand new train set before. Well, that'll be it. That has got to be a brand spanking new train set. I bought it on one of these here Goodwill auctions. It looks like I paid an entire $4.95 for it, but they were nice enough to charge me only $53 to ship it. Oh, am I lucky. $53 in shipping for a $5 train set. Man, oh man. Now I've got that conundrum once again. I gotta cut a brand new package open to run it. Let's get this lifelike train set opened up. Steel sealed in the plastic. Of course, the cars are all pretty much straightforward, and I know there's not gonna be any damage on them. But that's what a caboose looks like when all the stuff hasn't been broken off of it. That's fantastic. Stock cars with all the doors that work. Mercy. These are lifelikes made in China. Whatever time frame that is. I believe these are probably 1990s, what I'm gonna guess. Yeah, oh, let's see if we can get this thing out without breaking it. Oh, come on. Mike, what in the... Why would they do that? Jeez. Holy moly, is that thing heavy. I say we open it up and take a look inside there and see what's going on. Well, that's a disappointment. The can motor, just a ton of weights put on there. Let's take it over to the track and see if it runs. I've always wondered how many of the viewers out there are armchair modelers. You know, you don't have a layout yet due to space requirements or living conditions or something like that. You're waiting, you're building. Put some comments down below. Are you active? Or are you an armchair modeler waiting to get in the game? I am shocked. 10 volts, not pulling any amps, light ain't even coming on. I can't believe it. Well, let's take her apart and see what's going on. Let's put a little juice right from a power pack to it, just see if it's maybe pickups. Well, it sure is. Apparently these are all tarnished. So we need to clean up those pickup wheels, because you can see the pickup wire here and here on the rear truck. So let's root around in there, see what we can do about getting those cleaned up. Well, if that wasn't like pulling teeth, my goodness. Say it's got wipers that wipe on the inside of these wheels, and I think it's just that they're completely corroded. Yep, I gotta do some serious polishing on these things to get these whooped into shape. Well, after about half an hour, I managed to get these wheels clean. They actually shined up and they look like copper. And the way that the tarnish or oxidation or whatever copper does that was on it, and of course it wasn't blue, but boy, they look like a brand new penny now. Cleaned up these contacts right here. Oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Right up in here, also, this little engine cradle that they sell you, I'm not too sure. I mean, it looks like a great idea, but sometimes it's a burden. I bet you it's probably a lot better for painting and decaling, I think, than actually doing repairs. Could have just used a towel like I was using, and I could have saved myself the $75 that it costed. Give them a little taste of oil here on these axles, and we'll attempt to get this on. This cradle, what a pain. Get out of here. I pulled it off. Lock tabs right there are all locked down again. Here, and the copper pickups are rubbing against the inside of the wheels, and the wheels are shiny. Now this front one, I guess I want to open it up so I can at least get a little bit of grease in there. Little different trick here. It's got a keeper on the back. Oh, look at that. Yep, got the grease in there. Not very much though. But we just touch up these axles. We'll give them a little line of oil in here, stabilized for plastics. And let's give her a run around the layout again. Hook this in, hook this on the back. There we go. That looks better. Oh, that works a little better. Cleaned up the wheels, brand new locomotive, never been run. Still have to do work to the dang things. Maybe I'll let her run around the track here a little bit. Get used to going to work. Well, this is interesting. Pushing about 6 volts. This thing's barely pulling 1/4 of an amp. It is a very efficient 7 volts. Still not pulling 1/4 of an amp. Wow. Not power hungry like them old Tycos and them old ribs and stuff like that. And still 1/4 amp, 10 volts. You know, golly, it's almost stuck car fast. Here comes around the corner. Not that I run them that fast, but still 1/4 amp. Now that I got this train set running pretty good, let's build a nice layout for it. After about 4.5 hours of enjoying this first warm day we've had up here in Montana, all the snow's melted and we had a 70-degree day. Of course, I've got my winter blood still in me, so it's hot and sweaty, but I think I've got a pretty fantastic looking little table set up here. Let me show you guys what it looks like. This is the legs that I made for this portable train layout that I'm going to give away. You notice I put the legs farther towards the inside. A lot of guys, for some reason, like to put their legs completely out here on the corner. Well, this 4x6 table, when you do that, it makes the bridge span a lot farther. So these legs are in 1 foot from the end, and they're also in 1 foot from the edges. So as for a span, this leg is centered right here. It's only got 1 foot before it's got another leg going on. So it'll keep the sag out of it going this direction, also with this direction. So this thing does fold completely flat, and it'll only be about 4.5 inches thick. About 4.5. So it'll be able to fit underneath of the bed whenever it's not being used. Usually train layouts, of course, are set up and they're kind of left alone. But when it's for a kid, you know, I suppose eventually they'll tire of it. Like sometimes it happens, and then it can be put away and it won't take up a lot of space, but it'll be super rigid. So now I get to put away all my tools that I've messed around with here and flip this over, and we'll get started on painting the top of it so we can start laying some track on it. This here's an old Italian trick I learned from this Polish guy. I got 1 part acrylic paint in here with 2 parts water, and it makes for a really fast way to paint this. So I just painted this here layout, this 4x6 layout, with about $4, well, a $4 bottle of acrylic paint that I used 1 cup worth out of. I had 1 cup of acrylic paint, 2 cups of water, in a little higher quality spray can so that it atomizes nicely. Now I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna do the same technique on grass. So I'm just gonna spray paint some green on it. I'm gonna hit it with a little different shade of green right now. Now I'm gonna hit it with some black in just a few areas just to give it some highlights. Now I'm just going to hit it with just some clear and help all this blend together. This is kind of what we got like now. So it's super glossy looking because it's just really, really saturated in water. Things will blend together as it dries. Some of those green dots, I think I had that green paint a little too thick. I mixed that 50-50 and it probably should have been a little bit more. But it does represent, you know, small patches of green things that are growing there. So I think once we get the rest of the scenery on, I still think it's gonna look great. Well, this is what it looks like now that the paint is dried and kind of mixed all in. Gives a nice, looks like dirt and grass and weird stuff growing. Took maybe 20 minutes to paint that. We started off with a track plan that looks like this, and I outlined the track with pencil, and then I just took some ivory colored spray paint to spray paint on kind of a faux roadbed. Waiting for this to dry, and we can get down to laying the final track plan on it. Throwing down some clear poly on it right now. It's supposed to be satin. I hope it kind of dries a little, not so glossy, because wow. This is what it looked like after nailing down the track. The family was coming through Montana on a surprise visit, and I had to hurry up and get this layout done. I've been working on it for about a month or so. Now it's crunch time. Well, it's just a couple hours before the little feller gets here. I've been troubleshooting the track. I had one switch that was always getting picked by the locomotive and all the cars and everything else, so I had to put a new switch in right over here. And now it seems to be working really, really well. Last night when I was testing it, I was using an Athearn blue box, and it was a real power-hungry one. And, oh, there, see, it just did it again. So I couldn't drive it around, so I swapped this out and I put an old AHM in, and it worked just great. And then when I tried to run that locomotive with the AHM, the lowest cracked open speed, that thing was going like a slot car. So apparently this puts out just a very few amps. And as we've seen in the operation of the locomotive, it takes just barely any amps. Here's my wiring up underneath here. I put everything on a bus. So the 12 volt track comes in over here on this side, and then the switches come in over here. So the power comes in on the bottom, and then it splits off and goes to the top. Because I got two switch machines, and I've got two power points on the track. I soldered in one right over here, and I soldered another one in over here. So one switch operates both the switch machines. So I've got it all buttoned up. I've got it all cleaned up. I got to keep figuring what's going on over here. Maybe the coupler is hooking up. I'm going to cut the bottom of those couplers off and see if maybe that's what's creating a little havoc. I got to get this thing to run reliable around the track. They're going to be here in about half an hour. I tried everything that I could do to get these cars to stop picking that switch. So I decided I'm going to update the plastic wheels on them with some metal ones. It's pretty straightforward. Just pull on these to get them out. Pop the wheels out. And you get you one of these here Micro Mark truck tuners. Now I took the thing, and they usually look like this. They got a big rubber washer you can get your meat hooks on, spin them around. But then it makes them where you can't use them on these Talgo trucks. So I cut that piece off. That way you can jam it in up here like this. And these are directional. You got to turn this with the cutter edge facing forward. And then I use the needle nose pliers to rotate these around while squeezing in on the truck just a little bit. Spin it around for the other direction. And of course we're going to turn it the other direction. So the cutting edge is going forward on it. Give these some spins. Get that truck opened up a little bit so them metal wheel sets will fit in there. Pick up this back one. Makes it easy enough just to spin with your fingers back here. Catch the other side. Put your metal wheel sets in. If you don't cut them, the metal wheel sets will bind up. And that's all that's involved. We'll pop them back in the truck. Let's try it on the layout. See if it rolls really good. Oh yeah, that's a smooth rolling box car now. The metal wheels make all the difference. Turns out, you just can't go out and give train layouts to just some random kid. Seems that you better know them somehow, or you can get yourself in trouble. Meet young Hayden. He's Peggy's, my little lady. It's her grandson. Hayden's a kind of a shy little feller. I met him only a few times, a couple, 2-3 years ago. There's probably a pretty good chance that I probably made him cry. Turns out that you can't talk to children nowadays. the exact same way that we were talked to by adults back when we were little.
Young Hayden wanted to spend some time with me working on projects. There was a stockyard set that needed to be glued together, so we jumped in on that. Glued small pieces of plastic to the hooves of the cows and pigs so they would stand up better. Hayden learned the ins and outs of maintaining brass track and tried his hand at it.
Seems like the layout needs something else though, don't it?
Yeah.
Should we put a barn on it?
Yeah.
Where should we put the barn?
Use your imagination, you can put it anywhere. Here's a farmhouse, here's a fire department, here's a post office, and here's a 5 and dime store. Here's a fire truck for the firehouse. Here's some trees. See this fancy machine right here?
Yeah.
Push them buttons. Wow, huh?
Hold it. Right.
That's not a very good sounding pig at all. The cows are real nice though,
Yeah.
but everything else is kind of funky, kind of a little town.
We're still gonna add more to it.
You think?
Yeah.
Huh. That's the thing about model railroading, is that you can just always add stuff to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like whenever you want.
Well, whenever you get a job and buy stuff to put on there.
Yeah.
How do you feel about delivering newspapers?
I don't know.
You ever deliver newspapers?
No.
You ever mowed grass for money?
No, never really done
You ever stood on a corner and begged for money with a sign in your hand?
that. No.
Huh. We better put you to work. We're gonna go stand you up on the road. Last time I did this, I made $4 whole bucks.
Actually?
No. No, I didn't. You know that layout that's inside that we were playing with last night?
Oh yeah.
You know what's the difference between that layout and this layout?
What?
You don't have any idea at all?
No.
The layout inside there belongs to me.
Oh yeah.
This layout right here belongs to you. I built it for you, to give to you. You're overwhelmed with excitement. Pretty groovy, huh?
Yeah.
I've had some guys reach out to me and they say that they want to send some stuff. Parts locos, locos for repair, parts to fix other locos. So I went out and got myself a P.O. box so that way people can mail them to me. Mama once told me, don't invite the internet over to your house to play. So this seems the next best thing to do. I'll put the post office box and shipping instructions down in the description below and put them in on the rest of my videos. I want to thank the people that have sent me in some stuff already. Thank you very much. Got me one of them their Facebook group fan pages, Facebook.com/Classic Model Trains. If you enjoyed the video, which I know a lot of people do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I promise nothing bad won't happen. You're not going to get on a weird mailing list or be pestered with phone calls or nothing like that. And maybe, just maybe, YouTube and Google's algorithm will figure out that you enjoy this fine hobby of model trains, and they might start customizing your commercials to fit more into your liking. Maybe you'll get some model train commercial. I don't know. Maybe. But you'll never know if you don't find out and hit that subscribe button. Hayden really did enjoy the train set, but of course by the end of the night that dang Xbox got the majority of his attention. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.